for this, born to write, born to speak up, born to fight, born to dream in the dead of night. The gifted bipolar writer shining so bright. Never in control, but in control of fate. Learning to navigate through love and hate. Rising above with every twist and turn. Embracing the fire as we watch it burn. Embracing the chaos, finding the light. Breaking the chains, taking flight. Riding the waves with all our might. Writing our story in black and white. Never in control, but in control of fate. Learning to navigate through love and hate. Rising above with every twist and turn. Embracing the fire as we watch it burn. Through the highs and lows, we find our way. In the darkest moments, we still find day. The pen in our hand, the power we hold. The story unfolds as we break the mold. Never in control, but in control of fate. Learning to navigate through love and hate. Rising above with every twist and turn. Embracing the fire as we watch it burn. Through the highs and lows, we find our way. In the darkest moments, we still find day. The pen in our hand, the power we hold. The story unfolds as we break the mold.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Nick Never in Control. Wow, when I appear to host this show, it feels like I haven't been here in forever. I mean, it's 2 weeks, but 2 weeks could slow down, speed up, depending on what's happening. I wish I had the capacity to do this every week. I really do. I enjoy being here. And it's hard for me to believe this show has now been running over a year and a half, about. And I see so many friends in the audience that have come to every single show. I see new faces of friends that I have made along the way. And I want to thank you all. I know it's Saturday night. I know, it's a night that people kick back, relax, maybe go out and hang out. And it means a great deal to me that you come. And when I do these shows, I truly hope that the value is taken beyond this hour, that it materializes into action and, helps the person that is looking at it and learning, but by extension, impacts another's life. And so many have impacted mine. And this is such a small way that I could give back of myself and my time. And that leads me right into tonight's topic. Um, we're going to be talking about nonprofits, the benefits and the challenges of. And there's so much in between, right? That benefit and challenge. And that's what we're really going to dig into tonight. I have been very fortunate to meet an incredible person here online. And we've known each other, I think, for a few years now. And believe it or not, I came across a post of his that he was doing a fundraiser, or perhaps he was speaking about his organization and some of the dreams that they had. Many of you know him. His name is Chason Forehand, and he is the founder of H.E.R.O for you. I remember following his content and being very touched by the work he was doing. And at the time, I know he was working toward building out Transformation Kitchen. Being somebody that loves to cook, being somebody that is married to a Mexican man, and me being from Trinidad and Tobago, the fusion of the food is incredible in our house. But more than that, I know how much a shared meal can bring people together. And I think that really spoke to me. And one of the first things I did is that I used to work in an elevator company. I left earlier this year to start the publishing company. So I created this little form and I went in and I sold cupcakes by the dozen at work. And I think Sunday night I must have baked and iced like 84 cupcakes. We went to work the next day with all these trays. Who wanted vanilla? Who wanted chocolate? Who wanted vanilla ice? Who wanted I was like, why did I give options? But you know, that money went to H.E.R.O for you. And in all this time, I can't stop not only supporting Jason, but many of the nonprofits that guiding brilliant writers backs. They aren't all spoken about. They aren't all consistently supported the way H.E.R.O for you is. You know, we do what we can and where we can. And so, you know, to have gone through that and ended up forming this incredible friendship with him, having the opportunity to meet him this year in person, New York City, during his fundraiser for Transformation Kitchen. And then most recently in the summer, him coming to my home and my husband and I getting to go out with him and his wife. It really tells you, like Jason says, and so many of us do, stronger together, right? And every passing day, we grow closer to one another in our mission, in our purpose, and what just becomes a very natural part of the life we breathe every day. And so I know that the four people joining us tonight feel the same way I do, but a gazillion times more because they live it every day. And, you know, I can't wait to bring them up. But before I do, I am going to, and this is me having a general idea, but kind of Googling and smashing two things together because there's always like that very like professional one and then that little softer one. So I'm sure my guest will help me along here if I'm not accurate. And I wrote, of course, I have to get my matching pen, of course. Okay, so a nonprofit, also referred to as a 501c3, tax-exempt organization formed for the purpose of serving the people and the public good and not generating a profit. The income is not distributed to its members. The CEO may receive a reasonable but not excessive compensation. Now, that is like 4 lines and really does not even begin to describe, right? So with that, I am going to ask my executive remote producer, Mr. Aaron Gibson back there, to please bring all of my guests up on stage. Thank you, every single one of you, for being here. And like I said, backstage, it was like a week to this when I reached out, and you know, everybody's busy. And the fact that you guys could make this happen means so much to me. Like, I have these ideas I want for my show, but like I had a book launch yesterday. And so, like, you know, sometimes, not for my book, for my author, but yes, thank you, I'll take it. This is like the 6th book we published this year since I opened the company, and I'm really grateful. And all of that helps me to be able to do this, right? And I just, everything gets away from me. When I'm in a launch, I'm very like blinders on. And so I was like asking. I was like, check. Okay. So I am going to go round robin, and let's say the person right next to me is Chason. Um, so, I am going to ask you to, of course, introduce yourself and tell us the name of your nonprofit and what the nonprofit is about.
Well, sure. Thank you very much, Aaron, for pressing all the buttons and doing all the things that you do. Thank you, Nick, for having us all here. I'm with friends, as all of these ladies are fantastic friends. And I'm just the monkey that gets to stand in the middle here. But I run H.E.R.O for You Incorporated. We started in 2022. And we are standing in the gap to fight to break the cycles of poverty, homelessness, and food insecurity. And we do that primarily through our advocacy and a program called Transformation Kitchen. So we've opened up our first one in Matagalpa, Nicaragua in June, and our first one in the United States will open by the year's end here in New York. So we're very excited about that.
Okay. Wow, all my goosebumps just went up. I'm excited because I live in Long Island. So I get to tell Chason that I'm participating feet on the ground, whether or not he wants me to. Because I couldn't get to Nicaragua, but I do plan to get there at some point. And so I am so happy for you, for everyone involved. I'm an advisory board member, which I joined like this year, and grateful again to be an entrepreneur now because I have time that I can do this. And so congratulations to everyone's efforts for this, coming to fruition. Thank you, Chason. So Martha, please introduce yourself. Let us know, about your nonprofit.
Thank you so much, Nick. Thank you so much, Aaron. Hello, Jason, and all the friends here. Katie, nice to meet you, and Kaitlyn. So great to meet you all. Interesting part about me, I actually was a soul trying to find herself back in 2021 during COVID. Quit my corporate job, decided to move to Houston with no plan of action. There, I fell in love with case management. I volunteered as a case manager at one of the nonprofits in Houston. I particularly worked with single moms, unhoused single moms, and I just fell in love. Right after, I picked up advocacy work, and I learned a lot of our folks in New York. So that kind of started conversations here on LinkedIn. And in 2024, we launched Connect Impact Hub. I call this organization Connect Impact Hub a community-based program. It's not just my program, it is a community program. And that's all thanks to everyone here on LinkedIn that supported the mission. Because of you all, I have been able to assist many folks, not only local, but on a national level. Now I am leading a program in the Monterey County, which is getting ready to expand to 2 other counties. And it's happening very fast. Since July, we're almost at 12 cities. And this is all because of the heartbeat of Connect Impact Hub, which the roadmap started there. And I'm able to bring that over to the organization that I'm leading now, our homeless outreach team, where I get to bring services with all of our staff, because now I have staff. And we bring services to our in-house members wherever they are at. If they're on the side of the freeway, we're showing up. Wherever they are, we are coming. So our mission at Connect Impact Hub is to end homelessness. And how we're doing that is through partnerships, providing outreach, connecting with the most vulnerable individuals. And most of all, like I tell my team, we're here to serve humanity. Thank you.
Thank you. Just, really and truly thank you. This makes me think a few years ago, the route I would drive home every day, there was this guy that stood on the corner before I got onto the highway. I have no idea why I was stood there because that was such a busy intersection. Well, and more than anything, when you see flowers because somebody got like hit there with a car, and I was, why is he standing there? And so my company used to buy lunch for us every single day, and sometimes and breakfast. And at some points I didn't eat everything. So, if I was driving by and the light was stopped, I'd stick my hand out and he'd come running, right? Because catch the light, and it might be lunch because I had breakfast late. I'm working at my desk or whatever. And one day I remember it was like a yoga coffee. And like I saw him a couple of days later, and he said, "Oh my God, I haven't had one of those in such a long time. It was all over my face, and and then I didn't see him for a while, and I was like, and then I saw him again. I was like, "What happened to you?" I really thought something happened. I was like, "I will never know." He said, "No, I wasn't well. I went to the hospital. I was in for like the 48 hours. They treated me and they let me out. And they were able to get me temporary housing, but then the housing wasn't there anymore. So he was back out again." So and you always were trying to talk to me when the light went. I was like, "I gotta go. I'm holding people up." I realized, these people just want somebody to talk to sometimes. And it might have just been a few minutes, but they just want somebody to talk to. Um, so I thank you immensely from the bottom of my heart for what you're doing. You know, we've met two of you, and already, like, I can feel the love in the room, all the comments out there. People are out there and they want to help. They want to help. Sometimes they just don't know how. They don't know where to go, who to ask, how they can help. They think, "Oh my gosh, if I don't have a $2,500 donation, I can't help." So thank you both so much. All right, so Katie, welcome.
Yes.
Welcome. Please share with us.
I love being in groups like this. This is super fun. I'm Katie Ray. I'm the founder of Fostering Hearts Florida. We provide education in a safe space for foster youth. The way we do that, the graduation rate is under 30%. We provide education, however that looks, meeting the youth where they're at. So we have engaged with over 60 youth since last year, August 2024. We have 2 locations, and then we work virtually because foster youth move quite often. But I steal all the teachers that leave the system that aren't treated right in the school system so they could bring the magic to the children, exactly what they came on this earth to do. I'm not an educator, but my trick is I surround myself with people smarter than me to push this mission, and it has nailed it. It's been a beautiful sight. I'm basically Ted Lasso. I go in and play sports and just pour into the kids and tell them I believe in them. But we have a GED program. A big push on that was because kids drop out. They don't feel safe in school. They're homeless for a few years, and then you can't go back into high school after 19. So we've been serving children from the ages of 5 to 27 years old that have been in the foster care system. It has been beautiful. We really focus on reading and math foundations and our GED program, which is 4 subjects. But we meet the youth where they're at. So they could get their GED in a couple months. They could do it in a year, depending on how much support we need to add on their plate. But we work around their priorities. We also added another layer this year. A lot of our aged out foster youth have children of their own. So we've brought in an early learning specialist to work with their little ones while they're getting their GED. Those are usually retired teachers, but who just want to hug on some babies, and also me when they fall asleep. It's so great. What a day's work, right? But it's been really, it's just been an amazing journey. It's been hard, but I can't stop now. So it's kind of, we just got to keep going.
Wow. Wow. Just goodness, again, and I know we have, I don't want to say a big panel, but somewhat of a big panel, right? Because we have 4 people here tonight. And it's because they're all focused on different types of endeavors, right? But they're all in the nonprofit space. And I'm listening to you, and I couldn't help but think that earlier I was listening to Social Saturday Squad at 12, and Martha was speaking about, what she does with the homeless and such. And she was talking about a young man who was recently fostered out of the system and now is homeless. And, geez, when I think of now this connection that might have just happened, where she might be trying to find housing, but she might meet people who are being fostered out without GEDs. And now they, in turn, might need assistance. This is like mind-blowing.
And this is the best thing ever, is collaboration within purpose-driven work, because that's where the growth happens. That's how you level up. And that's a huge part of our mission, is we collaborate with other nonprofits. Our educators are actually in group homes and other nonprofits. So it's really important to be able to expand our missions. And one of the biggest problems is housing for foster youth, just getting us a place to sleep,
You two have to connect beyond
It's done.
And absolutely, I'm happy to facilitate anywhere that you think that my experience can help. Incredible.
Thank you.
Just incredible. All right, I know that the audience is going mad out there. I know that they're loving what's happening up here, because I want you to know you're very much a part of this. We can come up and we can share, but without anyone to share it with, and without people willing to put their hands in and help, we can't get further. So thank you so much for being here. Kaitlyn.
Hi, thank you.
Welcome. It's very, very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thanks for having me. I feel so honored to be amongst all these wonderful people. My goodness.
Good. Please tell us a bit about yourself and
Sure.
what you're working on.
So my name is Kaitlyn. I'm a physical therapist by trade, and I've been in the healthcare space for about 10 years now. Sadly, but also very fortunately, my story in healthcare hit a very low point in 2018. I was working for an organization where I was kind of stuck in the middle of a lot of really toxic dynamics within the workplace. And there was, like I said, I had kind of let work take over me, and I wasn't taking care of myself. And it was that toxic dynamic in the workplace that really, I think I just allowed it to happen, because I thought, this is how it goes when you're in leadership. And I just kind of rolled with the punches. And I got to this point, though, where there was a morning that I was driving to work, and I had no idea that I was to this low point yet. But I really felt like driving my car off the road would be a better option than showing up to work. Like, it had gotten that dangerous to be at work and just unhealthy to be at work. And it was a very pivotal moment for many, many reasons, especially being able to look back at that moment. But I call my organization, my nonprofit, Face with Grace, because in that very moment, I really felt like Jesus showed up in my back seat in the form of my baby daughter. And it was just this very pivotal moment, like I said, where I felt like he was there with me, and he was saying, girl, we got lots more work to do. You keep driving that car and you get to work, and we're going to get you out of there. And that's what happened. And I'm very grateful that I was able to pivot my career and get to a psychologically safer space and navigate out of that through it. And as I went on in the healthcare world, I just kept running up against the same dynamic and the same atmosphere. And it was like, this can't just be me that's dealing with this. Like, these are all very different organizations. I went from like large corporations to private practices to startups, and it was just always kind of this same pattern. And so I guess it was last year, I had a lot more time on my hands than I ever had in my career. And I kind of just started wrestling with this notion of, I've been through this really hard situation. I've come out on the other side of it by the grace of God, and been able to take the time to go through the therapy and do the soul searching and the self-awareness practices and everything else in between, and realize that I wanted to take those really dark experiences and do something positive with them. I wanted other women going through similar situations in the workplace to feel less alone than I felt, and to feel like they had a lifeline, and to hopefully prevent women from ever getting to the place where they felt like death was a better option than showing up at work. And so I formulated Face with Grace February of this year. So we are still brand new baby nonprofit, still very much growing and trying to build our brand awareness. But really the mission behind the whole organization is to show up for women when they're going through those hard situations, to be able to lock arms with them, to help them navigate through, around, out, within, whatever it may be in their unique situation, to deal with those situations more positively than I did, and to really help them not feel like they're crazy or that they're alone or that they can't make it through. So we do that in the form of coaching and coaching mentorship. And then we also offer just leadership training for organizations that don't want to be like that organization. They want to be healthy.
Yeah.
And then the third prong of our organization and our mission is to also pay it forward to the youth and get in front of girls before they're ever in the workforce and teach them
Brilliant.
what those red flags are, what healthy leadership should look like, what healthy culture feels like, just so that we can help prevent this sort of generational curse, if you will, of leadership that feels so awful. It doesn't have to be that way. And I just want women to feel supported in that. So that's Face with Grace, and that's me.
Thank you so much. And you are doing that, and what I love about this panel is we are working on all different things, but what I'm hearing is a lot of proactive action going on here, right? Because you guys are pulling it a step back. You're not just hitting the problem head on. I'm hearing Katie saying that, they're doing things for people, for their children, while they're studying for their GED. I'm hearing you saying to me, you're trying to reach the girls younger so they don't go into a toxic work environment and feel that this is normal, right? And then Martha is thinking beyond the homelessness, what happens to those that get fostered out of the system, right? And they are now in a situation that they're homeless. So these are young people that are being fostered out of the system. They don't have the time on the streets, right? They're going now from being housed to all of a sudden being not housed, and they're young, right? And when I think of Chason, and I'm going to take a minute now to play a video. When I think of Chason, when I was at the event in New York City, I got to see a story of a woman who lived up in the mountains in Nicaragua. I'm from a third world country as well, so I understand. I've seen a lot of poverty around me, right? And people, they live up in the hills, they come down, they might get water out of a stand. I got water out of a stand too growing up sometimes. And so basically she took a cake baking class and decorating. She came back and did the decorating. And she was able to start baking cakes out of her home. And people in the community will come around walking to order their cakes for their quinceañeras and such, right? And that year, her husband, who farmed, his crops washed away. She was able to support her family through that time by doing that.
Wow.
Jason, that story has not left me. It will never leave me. That is one person that has been able to put food on the table to keep her family fed. And I am sure there are dozens, and we're going to have the show again because 1 hour is not enough for this show. It absolutely is not. Jason, you waited so patiently. I'm running a video for you, my friend, but perhaps before I do, you would like to give us a prelude to this video that I'm about to show, which was the ribbon cutting of Transformation Kitchen.
Well, thank you. I mean, we've got a jam-packed group here that's coming from a lot of different perspectives to do the work to help others. The one thing that if we get one thing across to everybody in the audience here and that's pass on to anyone else is that there are a million ways you can step in to help a nonprofit. And it doesn't have to just be financial. Everyone gets tied up with the idea that the only thing I can do is give money. And if I don't have money, well, then I can't help. And that's just not true. There are so many different ways that you can show up. Just the most simple thing on sharing a post, in commenting, and being part of social media to get the recognition out. Being the people that are here tonight that they're taking the time on a Saturday night or whatever it is for them in their time zone to be here and support. That's huge. That means the world. And it spreads out the message so much better when we all work together. So there's a lot of ways that you can help other nonprofits. Find somebody or find an organization that matters to you and dive in and ask questions. But regarding the video, in Nicaragua, I was able to spend 21 days and I lived with a little family and it was awesome. And I got to realize that my Spanish is not as great as I thought it was and that I need to practice more. But I also got to see firsthand how impactful simple things can be. We talk about the cake, we talk about bakers, we talk about elevating people's lives. It's really about putting together and collaborating with Rayo de Sol that's on the ground there in Nicaragua. So H.E.R.O for You and Rayo de Sol building this transformation kitchen together so that we could service 41,000 people that are spread out in the mountains of Matagalpa and make it to where they can thrive, not just survive, but they can create their own businesses. You want to be the best tamale maker in the world because that's a generational recipe that's been passed down. Make them, and we'll show you how to package them, how to sell yourself, because that's what people buy. And then get out there, and not only will you make enough money to pay for all the ingredients, but to put food on the table for your family. Because there's not enough jobs and the coffee and cocoa seasons are too short and they don't pay enough. So us being able to do that and have the story of the lady who's doing the cakes and have oh my goodness, my buddies there, Martha and Ingrid and so many other people that are bakers and were creating all of these wonderful things there in the kitchen. It was impactful to see. So that's what it looked like there in Matagalpa. But I mean, we're going to build 20 of these out next year in all different countries beyond the United States, and each one will look slightly different.
Oh, just thank you for that, and thank you for mentioning the different ways people can help. To you never know when you might share a post about something and a nonprofit may be looking for something non-monetary. Let's say they're doing something in an area and they're looking for a volunteer to do something. Yeah. I volunteered when I went to New York City to Chason fundraiser, and it might have just been running a raffle table, but hey, listen, everybody's got to play a part. So you might share a post and that person might live in that area and they might say, you know what, I want to go volunteer an hour of my time towards that organization. You know what? I think that I'm going to put a flyer in 20 of my neighbors' boxes and say, Sunday morning, I'm going to pass by. and pick up any used clothing that, you know, you might be cleaning out, and pick it up and say, you know what, I'm taking it to that organization. They're having a fundraiser. You know, there are ways and there are ideas, and sometimes we just have to talk about it. Sometimes things are just not at the forefront of our minds because we each have lives. You know, we have bills, we have family, we have I have mental problems. I do. And we have health issues. That's what I really meant to say. But, you know, it's so not there. It's about what can we do after the show ends tonight? What are we thinking? What am I thinking tomorrow morning? Do I want to reach out to one of the people on the stage and say, hey, listen, I don't know, I have this idea, you know, can you tell me, like, how would I go about approaching my book club, my whatever? What can I say? Like, how can I show them what you're doing? Because your organization is based in my area, and you know, maybe there is something that I could get some friends together to help do, but I don't really know how to package it. All right, these people are here. Ask. That's why they're here. They're here as resources as well for you. So, Chason, thank you. And I am going to play that video now. All right. So I hope I don't scatter everybody all over the place when I put it up, because I'm not the executive remote producer and I loaded this one. So bear with me. All right.
My name is Chason Forehand, and I run a nonprofit in New York that creates these transformation kitchens all over. And we're proud and honored to be here with this community. Thank you for having me. Eso. Gracias. Your phone, and you can open it up.
I'm showing that lady how to do the break the egg on the side, and then she goes and she just takes a spoon and whacks it.
That was just so awesome. And I want to invite you ladies as well, when we do another round of this, to please feel free to submit any videos like this that you would like me to share. I'm more than happy to do so. Very just blessed to have all of you. So we are going to go into the next round. And this one's going to be the slightly tougher. Yeah. You know, I really want to know from each of you, if you would talk about your top benefit of what is, you know, come of this, but also maybe what your biggest challenge has been, because none of this is happening without, I'm sure, tremendous challenges. So would we be okay? Maybe we'll go the opposite way this time. Is that okay? Which means that Kaitlyn, you start.
Sure. I think the biggest benefit to it all is that I've watched myself say yes so many times in the last year to so many people, so many opportunities, so many engagements that I otherwise would have never experienced. And so I get to meet people like you guys and just hang out and learn that there's so many wonderful things going on in a world that is so very dark so often. And I think that's just a beautiful thing. And so I think that the learning, the engagements, that has been the most beneficial and just wonderful part of this experience.
Mhm.
Because our organization is still so new, we haven't actually really started the work, as in the mentorship that's supposed to be happening. But we have had our first fundraiser recently, and Chason got to be a part of that. And I got to tell you, it was just magical. We created a vibe like no other in our virtual summit. And I mean, pulling 10 speakers together virtually and getting that kind of magic out of it was something I did not even anticipate. And we all just had such a consistent message about positivity and culture building and excellence in leadership that it's so cool to see that all in a room and to see people so aligned. So there's been a real gift. I'd say some of the challenges I've faced are the fact that I'm doing this on the side of my desk. I still work full time. I also own a consulting business. Like, I am a busy lady. I have 2 young kids. And so, one of the biggest challenges is getting it rolling as fast as I want it to. And just having to have such intense patience with it is a challenge for me. I'm a go-getter. I like to get it done, and I like to see action. So I think that's been, both a challenge, but also another lesson out of it, that it's I'm building it for a reason. And I think Katie said it. I can't stop now. Like, I'm so deep in and so committed and just driven to keep going with it that I know there's a reason that I was called to do this. And so, challenges or not, I'm going to keep going.
Oh my gosh, and we're gonna keep going with you. And I know you said new like a few times, and I want to say to you that I started this era, and maybe only a month now, I stopped saying I'm a new publisher because people started yelling at me, "Stop saying you're a new publisher," because I left my job in February too and started a publishing company. And Rome wasn't built in a day. That's what I say.
That's right. So we're not new anymore. We can't say that. We're going to hold each other accountable.
Right. And so, we will take the time that we need to get there, but that foundation is going to be strong.
Right.
And please feel free to reach out to me to support in any way that I can. And
I wrote a book this summer, so I'm definitely going to be reaching out to you.
I am a woman of my word, and Chason will tell you that I co-hosted a pretty cool fundraiser, pajama party fundraiser, the only one I ever did for them, for H.E.R.O for you, and we did pretty okay. All right, Kaitlyn, thank you so much. Okay, so then we're going to go backwards. So Katie, please share with us, a benefit, a challenge.
Yeah. Well, benefit is showing the youth that your support system might not be what you thought it was, but there's a lot of people out there that want to support you, cheer you on, and give you access to things. And I'm a fast friend, so I try to be the cool hip older lady, being best friends with everybody. But so I'm gonna just call it like it is. Nonprofit world fundraising is the hardest thing right now. We were vetoed at the state funding at the very last second, and then we lost our county funding this month. So we're not even looking to that. We're going into other ways. And I've been in sales my entire career, over 20 years in IT sales. So I can sell anything, but fundraising is a different beast. And it's a lot of challenge. If you're not crying in your car once or twice a week and thinking that you should go look for another job, are you in nonprofit world? Like, that's something that I fight with often. But I have 3 little ones, 11, 9, and 5, and they've been so good about, like, how was your day today? Did you help any foster youth, Mom? Can we go with you? And like reminding them that life is not easy, but we have 2 hands for a reason, for ourselves and for others. And like, we have to keep doing that. So that's the biggest benefit, is I get to show my kids that following your heart is beneficial. But funding is always going to, especially right now in this climate, let's just call it like it is. Human-led, like people who are heart-led and human-led are not being seen as like legit. And that's how we grow. That's how we get better. That's how we become better members of society, so that our economy grows. Like, people aren't logically thinking right now. But that's okay, because you just got to get in front of people as often as possible. And networking's been a lot, like just getting in front of people. I'm very aggressive and passionate. So like if I'm talking about kids and your eyes like look glazed over, I'm like, you were a kid once. You don't have to be a parent. Let's do this.
Wow.
You know, that's it.
A lot packed in there. A lot packed in there. And I really appreciate that you and Kaitlyn both mentioned your children. Because oftentimes we could be seen in the role that we fill as a career or profession, however you want to put it. But there are other roles there, and having a family to take care of as well. That takes its own mental capacity to do. So please, thank you so much for sharing that. And we're going to move on. We're going to move on to Martha. Martha, please, a benefit or struggle. I heard a lot today on Social Saturday, but everybody here needs to hear it too. And again, I see people are like they're interested in the topic. They want to know what.
Yeah. Well, it's easy to give, right? And deplete yourself. And I did that. I depleted myself really bad. I still have a really hard time asking for donations, and it's a struggle that I'm still trying to work through. Grants, everything that we're still doing here at Connect and Packed Up, it's all voluntarily. What I'm bringing to the organization where I'm leading the team, I'm bringing my tools, my skills, and this team is succeeding in every aspect. So I know that what started here at Connect and Packed Hub, it's blossoming, and to be able to witness that is just amazing. To run with the tool and to share it and expand it, it's a tool, and we're all part of that. Every person that's here, all the ideas, all the shares, I get to spread that out, and different organizations will reach out to me and they will say, hey, Martha, do you have a resource? I'm like, yeah, here, this is how I do this and that. I think that's the beauty, just the network. I think the money will come when the money needs to come. But I am mostly heart-centered. When I meet people, I'm very upfront of what I can do and what I can't do. And the moment I tell them I don't have that funding to be able to get you a motel, then they stop asking. But everyone, needs shelter. And that's like one of the number one question that I get consistently is shelter. So hopefully one day Connect and Packed Hub will have funding to be able to provide hotel stays or motel stays, for many of the unhoused members. But yeah, I wanted to start with the challenges because it's still something that I'm working through.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. And what I enjoy about service to humanity is, this has been the blessings, I would say, is watching members receive a phone or receiving their benefits. One example was a gentleman who'd been in a shelter for 3 years. He hadn't received any income. We applied for Social Security benefits and he got it the next month. So it was his retirement that went through next month. And he was so excited. He got up with his cane and he said, thank you so much. I'm so grateful. Even though it took 3 years to get here, I'm so grateful that this happened. I think it's just watching the folks, watching the folks that we're serving, that just is gold. There's no greater feeling than watching someone smile and just acknowledging those sparkly eyes and giving them hugs. I'm a hugger, so I hug all of my members. I don't deny hugs. So yeah.
Oh, thank you so much as well for your share. And you know what I love is like, you guys are talking about the challenges, and even though there seems to be a bit of a running theme in terms of fundraising being a challenge, getting the resources you need, because there are 4 different types of nonprofits on stage here, they could speak a little bit to exactly what their particular challenge is, right? And I think that really helps the audience, who's vast and all over the place, to really begin to think about which organization that they could probably lend the most effort toward, helping. So thank you so much, Martha, for sharing. And of course, now we're going to speak with our gentleman on the panel tonight.
Well, I want to say something. You said this at the very beginning, and I want to make sure that everybody understands, and maybe most people know this. There are a bunch of different kinds of nonprofits. A 501c3 is probably one of the most difficult to get because it has the most regulations and the most reporting that has to be done because it is a tax exempt organization. So the IRS is really stringent on the rules. That's what we are. I think there's several others in this group or panel, maybe all of them, that are 501c3s as well, but there's a ton. There are some organizations that I believe it's a 501c4 that you can actually file, and from the moment you file, you can start fundraising because the donations are not tax exempt. But there are foundations and there are a ton of different 501c number 4, 6, 8, 9. And so there's a lot of different rules. That's the key. That's the real big, that's one of the challenges is that I've been a business owner. I've had my own HR company since 2012. I've done very well. And I only service now since the pandemic social good entities. And there's a long story behind that I will tell with people at a different time. But even that, you take running a business and all the things that come with it, and then you add on all of these regulations. Every state wants you to file. Some states like California, love you, California. They want you to file with 3 different places. You can't just file online. Come on, guys, it's 2025. So, I mean, the states have things that they want from you. The IRS wants stuff from you. You've got different organizations like Charity Navigator and Candid GuideStar. They want stuff so that you can prove that you are worthy and that you are doing the things you're supposed to be doing and that the funding is going where it's supposed to go. So there's a lot. And as you grow and get to places where you need even more and more and more help, you have to really be intent about how you structure yourself because burnout is a real thing. I mean, I get to the place now where I have to be very, very cautious because
Yes, you do, my friend. I don't know if we lost Chason there for a moment.
He disappeared.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Jason. Oh,
sorry about that. Sorry. I don't know what happened. But you get to the place where you're pouring from the empty cup. And it can be, especially for the people on this panel and others that are in this industry, it can be very challenging if you are not making sure that you pause because we're doing such intent work to help other people. We can't do that unless we help ourselves. And it's easy to start running down the path and then realize, man, I've been pouring from an empty cup now for a week, 2 weeks, a month, whatever. And you're just like, whoa, I'm up at the ear, so I think there's a lot of challenges, but the beautiful thing, as almost everybody has said, is that we get to see people thrive. We get to see young kids and adults and older people thrive. We get to see human beings live the way they're supposed to live. We get to collaborate with each other and have conversations like this with you, Nick, and to the audience, where we get to change the world.
Yes, you
Every
are.
single person here that's watching can create actionable change. And it takes just a step. It takes one step. And that step becomes something that becomes a habit the more and more you do it. I am not a young man, but I am thrilled that I have found value and a place and a purpose that will carry me to the end of my days. And
Mhm.
I love what I do. And all I want to do is see more and more people thrive. So
Wonderful. Thank you. That, as they say, stronger together, all ships rise with the tide. Those things weren't just made up because of it. It was made up because something happened to cause someone to coin that phrase. And this is the perfect opportunity for me to throw up this 30-second clip, because this 30-second clip um, is what I hope Chason continues to remember doing. Because in doing so and reminding people that without self-care, none of us can achieve what it is we're trying to achieve, non-profit or otherwise. So beg for forgiveness later. Sorry. Tell Jody that Southern Belle that I send all my love. Oh, production boot loves that. Just tell Jody I sent all my love. I was very nervous when I went to New York City in March. I never walked into a room like that. There were going to be tons of people from LinkedIn. And I just remember meeting this lady at the front door with this beautiful Southern drawl. She made me feel very warm right away. She made my husband and I feel just totally like we belonged there. And then getting to see them recently and go to West Hampton Beach and listen to an autistic drummer play another connection here on LinkedIn, and then share dinner together was those moments that always stay with you, right? So we are wrapping up on time. I'm going to throw this up really quick, Chason, because I want to stay at the time. But as an advisory board member, I would be remiss if I did not let you guys know that in October, H.E.R.O is doing Feed for Good, and this it goes towards ending food insecurity. So I'm going to go ahead and put that up there now. You are going to see the QR code to scan if you'd like to purchase tickets. Tickets are $25. It's a 2-hour virtual event. Just incredible people, including Rachel. I never get her name right. Can you say her last name? Druckenmiller?
Druckenmiller, yeah.
Okay, thank you. She's a beautiful singer. There's Trevor Van Warden. Whoops, wrong person. Trevor Martin. There is a Trevor Van Warden, by the way. Trevor Martin. But he is incredible. Like if you see his sketches, you would be completely blown away. There's a whole bunch of other people that I'm forgetting, and it's being emceed by one of my very, very, very good friends, Jen Lynn, of Uniqua Beauty Norm. So I have a little offer when I threw this up. I would like to suggest to any companies out there that are looking to end the year by being generous and donating. This is a good opportunity for you to purchase 9 tickets at $25 each. Guiding Brilliant Writers will give you the 10th ticket. Give your 10 team members the opportunity to attend this virtual event together, okay? And allow them in the comments to team build through something other than work, through a cause that they are all supporting. I'm speaking about $175 from your organization. And I'll throw in the 10th ticket. And yes, I will be there. And don't worry, I will not be singing. But this is a great way to end your year and put it in your company newsletter, okay? Get a picture in your conference room after with your team. and ask each person to put one line of what it is they felt to be a part of something like this, right? This is where you could start making the change. You're spending more than $200 bringing coffee into your office. Oops, did I say that? Yes, I did. But that's okay, because this is Nick Nevin Control, and I get to do it because it's my show. So that being said, it's 9 o'clock. Oops, I'm going to throw that up really quick. Please, if you have your phone, please scan the QR code, buy a ticket for $25. Chason uses a school thing on Absolutely. All the money goes to them. There's like no fees and stuff, which is fantastic. And yeah, let me do that quick. Hang on. There we go. Okay, I have 30 seconds in that, but I think it might have been up long enough for people to scan the QR code. But I am certainly going to post that like forever and ever and ever between now and the date in October. I can't think it's 11 or 12. I'm not sure. All right, so we have to wrap up. We didn't even get to go through a couple more questions. We're going to do this again. Before we go, I have one last offer for the 4 organizations here. Okay, I'm a publisher, and I hope that what I do creates impact in a way that will be here long after we're gone. This is our legacy. All right. Our legacy is not, yes, we will leave property and money and all the other things. But in a few bad choices, that could all be gone. We hope that our future generations will know how we lived, learn something by the way we lived, and perhaps make better choices, right? So that being said, I would like to offer to publish a book sometime next year. It is going to be called For FOR, right? For the Four, number 4. For FOR, the 4. And that's going to be.
Sis, you're kind of breaking up. Can you start that again, please? Sorry. I know we're going to go over, but I would much rather
I was
hear
breaking
the
up.
information.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, you were totally breaking up, and this is the only
At
time
the
I normally
4
pop up on
part.
stage. But hey, by the way, there's gremlins in the studio, so I'm going to get out of here and take care of those. You need to do that again, though. I'm sorry.
Sorry. I'll be just 2 more minutes. So Guiding Brilliant Writers is going to do a pro bono published book for the 4 of you, and sometime next year, and we're going to name it For FOR, the 4, the number 4. It's going to be for the nonprofits in the space of the Foundation for Humanity, right? Basically. And it's going to be food, shelter, education, and mental wellness. Each of you represents one of these. Yes, it came to mind while I was sitting here. Yes, I'm a
That's
crazy
so
girl.
cool.
But that is the point. That is the point of utilizing the resources that you do have. And when an idea comes into your mind, don't be afraid to say it. Don't be afraid to put it out there in the universe. Together, we'll find a way to do it. I'm a fairly good publisher, so we will get through this. Next year, we're going to do it. We're going to get out there. We're going to sell this book. We're going to raise the funds. You guys are going to split it 4 ways. That's it. And my contribution would be my time.
You're awesome.
You're
awesome, buddy.
amazing. And it's
Thank
recorded,
you.
so you can't. We know what's going to happen now.
Nick, I would like to share something really quick. I'd like to make a donation to Chason's event. Anyone that's here in the audience, if you could reach out to Nick or Chason, I'd like to make 2 of the 25 donations for 2 people. And you decide on who those 2 people will be, and it will be from us Connecting Tech Hub.
Wonderful.
Thank you
so much. We will figure out how best to, give those tickets out. I'll leave that to Chason. So thank you for everyone in the audience. It's 9:04. You made it with us for 5 extra minutes. My poor husband's laying on the couch, probably passed out. And just, to the 4 of you, but also to your families that stand at your back to make this possible. Myself and the audience of Nick Nevin Control, which is really the family of Nick Nevin Control, thanks your family. So with that, everyone, have an absolutely wonderful night.
Warm
Bye-bye.
bye.
Free your mind and open your heart. Loosen control and embrace who you are. Set your soul free to dream. When a new day breaks and you feel you are standing at hell's gate, look back and you will see there is someone waiting for you. He, she, or me. Free your mind and open your heart. Loosen control and embrace who you are. Set your soul free to dream. Free your mind and open your heart. Loosen control and embrace who you are. Set your soul free to dream. These brambles and thorns that impede the path to our greatest selves are but the test to our willingness and strength to find our greatest wealth. Free your mind and open your heart. Loosen control and embrace who you are. Set your soul free to dream. Come dream with me. Come dream with me. Come dream with me. Come dream with me.